So STRATIA was founded, and we really started implementing, turnkey infrastructure for each of these domains. So the Army Aviation domain had an aviation mission computing requirement, and that was their open compute requirement. And then the Air Force had, their government avionics reference architecture that's now taken other names, and that was really focused on capability reference architectures. Like, how do you communicate with EW systems? How do you communicate with AP&T? And they use an open mission system backbone. They have their own middleware that they really use in definition for the Air Force. And so we built one for that. On the ground side, they had what is called GCIA, and they have their own infrastructure that's also based on FACE, like Army Aviation. And so we started off with this turnkey infrastructure, like, hey, we wanted people to be able to focus on getting capability in, and really the reference architectures that are enabling and ensuring interoperability and preventing vendor lock as an issue that every domain and every service has. That was its initial value proposition. And what we saw after that is, like, when you connect those things across an enterprise, how do you interoperate? How do you enable things from the Air Force and the Navy and the Army to communicate? And so that was the original infrastructure approach. But as we looked at infrastructure and what we can do with it and what are the gaps that exist today, that's where a lot of our features that we're coming out with or just came out with now really start to come into play. How do you do secure over-the-air updates? That's part of your infrastructure. How do you really implement full zero trust? How do you enable safe and secure artificial intelligence and autonomy to exist in these systems that have those types of requirements in terms of the mission that weapon system is providing and serving? And so, STRATIA and our continued investment in it is really, how do we enable our warfighters and for other capability providers across industry to focus on the things they're great at, and we enable everything to connect in a very open and standards-based way.